How's it going, everyone? Mike here on the Tressa's Collectibles channel. The team and I are back again to reveal some never-before-seen cards for the upcoming English Original expansion set, RWBY Premium Booster. As a Premium Booster, RWBY boasts a smaller overall card pool than its predecessor, but every single card can come with a textured over-frame rare on top of their non-foil rarity. Rando, Simo, and I have the pleasure of showing everyone all of the blue cards in the set today, so buckle up and let's take a trip back to the land of Remnant. The first card we have is James Making a Point, a 3000 power backup which has the added effect of when we use the backup, mill the bottom X cards of your opponent's deck based on the number of Remnant characters you have on stage. This effect can come in handy to disrupt your opponent's compression. If your opponent's plan was to end their turn with a tiny deck and all climaxes in their waiting room, then you can use the counter to make them prematurely refresh during their attack phase, making them refresh with a climax still in their climax area or stock. This effect can be a double-edged sword though, as the mill is mandatory when you use the backup, and you wouldn't want to help your opponent mill a bunch of potential free damage for your upcoming turn. So always confirm your opponent's climax locations to make informed decisions on when to use this backup. Next up, let's look at some Schnee family members, starting with Whitley Schnee. He boasts two synergistic startup effects. Whitley can rest himself to give one of your characters 1000 power cross turn, and then activate his second startup effect of discarding a card and sending himself to the waiting room to salvage any character from your waiting room. The flexibility of his salvage effect, on top of giving a nice offensive and defensive boost to any character's power, makes Whitley a solid consideration in any blue-based build. The next Schnee card involves two family members, Jacques and Whitley, listening to the concert. Don't be fooled by their low printed power. This card gets 4000 power on play for the turn, and also refunds the stock used to play them if they're the last character to hit the stage, essentially making them a 1/0 8500 power beat stick. This kind of stock refund effect can be a good way to pay out climaxes without actually spending any stock, and also serves as a nice counter to characters that cannot be reversed by cost 0 or lower characters. Coming with a soul trigger is a nice cherry on top, particularly in choice builds where you can salvage this card when you trigger a choice to then pay out the choice trigger on the next turn for free. The next several cards pertain to Randall's favorite RWBY character Weiss, so I'll let him do the honors.
Just to put it on record, Ghira is my favorite RWBY character, but unfortunately she probably won't be making an appearance for the foreseeable future. However, Weiss is definitely another favorite character of mine, and I'm very pleased to be able to showcase her new cards. The first Weiss card we'll be looking at today is Weiss Feeling Trapped. To start us off, she has the on-attack effect of giving one of your characters plus 1000 power for the turn. This extra power boost allows her to attack for at least 2000 if she targets herself for the buff, which isn't the highest power line, but is still a pretty reasonable attacking number into smaller utility characters. Of course, you can always buff one of your other characters instead, with the intent to crash her into the opponent's character in order to activate her second ability, the ever-popular Fukajiro effect profile. When she's sent from stage to waiting room, you can discard a card to look at up to 4 cards from the top of the deck, choose up to one level 1 or higher card from among them, add it to hand, and send the rest to waiting room. This ability offers hand fixing and mill power at the same time, similar to the level 0 Ghira we saw in the original RWBY set. However, this Weiss has an added upside of being able to pick up event cards as well as characters. Additionally, since the effect activates on death rather than on reverse like Ghira, you can resolve it during your own main phase by playing over her if you really need the extra mill. If you're looking for a bit of extra access to your event cards, consider slotting in this Weiss to help you dig for your necessary pieces. The second Weiss card we'll be looking at today is her new level 3, Weiss Determined. Just look at the beautiful art on this SP, and I especially can't wait to see what the foil pattern will look like in person. As for the effects, she has on-play heal and gain 1500 power until end of turn, allowing her to attack for 10,500 before any external boosts. Her on-attack effect can be activated if you have another Remnant character. Pay 1 and discard 1 card to look at up to 2 cards from the top of the opponent's deck, choose up to 2 cards from among them and send them to the opponent's waiting room, and put the remaining cards back on top of the opponent's deck in the order of your choosing. This effect lets you eliminate any climaxes your opponent has in their top 2 cards, which can be a powerful ability when used against a compressed deck state. Best of all, the ability doesn't require you to have a climax in play like a typical ClimaxCombo finisher, so feel free to splash this into any of your decks running blue for a bit of auxiliary healing or finisher power alongside your level 3 combo. The final card I'll be showing you guys today is this Klein level 0. As the Schnee family butler, Klein does his best to serve the family as a whole, but also has exceptional loyalty to Weiss in particular. This is reflected in his two abilities, the first of which is a much more general effect, while the second specifically supports Weiss. He has on-play discard a Climax to salvage any remnant character, a generally good effect that is seen in many sets and was even in the first RWBY set on a level 0 Weiss. His secondary effect is on death discard a card to salvage either the level 3 Weiss we just looked at, or her level 1 Climax combo from the original RWBY set, simply named Weiss Schnee. This is a fantastic utility card for any deck running the Weiss level 1 combo, giving you easy access while also providing multiple discard outlets in a deck that is already running at least one set of Gate Climaxes. That being said, there is another notable character in RWBY that likes to run Gate Climaxes, none other than Blake Belladonna. With that being said, my portion of the reveals is now done, so let's take it over to Simu to take a look at what Blake's cards have to offer.
In Season 4 of RWBY, Blake leaves the others to go on a journey of self-discovery back to her home village of Kuokuana. We can see her tossing her bow away and Blake letting go as she no longer needs to hide that she's a faunus in her home continent. This level 2 character gets 1000 power during your turn for each of your other remnant characters, bringing her up to a respectable 9500 power, which is further boosted by 1500 power whenever your other remnant character attacks. This means that on a normal 3 attack turn, Blake can attack last for 12,500 power. When she's placed on stage from the hand, you can discard a remnant character to summon out Sun Awkward Smile from the waiting room directly on stage. That's right, our golden boy Sun Wukong is here, tagging along with his fellow faunus classmate for fun. Sun Awkward Smile is the opposite of Blake letting go. He gets plus 1000 power for each of your other remnant characters during your opponent's turn instead of your own turn. While he can be a chonky 10,000 power wall on your opponent's turns, he's still only attacking for 6,000 power during your turn, which is why his second ability helps him avoid combat altogether. If you have 2 or more other remnant characters, Sun can side attack without incurring the soul penalty, allowing him to avoid losing to bigger threats and deny opponents the option to use counters for his attacks. Lastly, Sun's final effect allows him to swap places with Blake letting go at the start of your opponent's attack phase. This effectively forces your opponent to have 2 attackers with 5500 power or more if they want to guarantee a reverse on Blake, and 2 attackers with 10,000 power or more if they want to reverse Sun as well. Even away from her normal teammates, Blake's teamwork with her friends is still on point. When the 2 of them arrive in Menagerie, they meet Blake's parents for the first time. Callie and Ghira Belladonna are just a pair of doting parents who want to assist their daughter in whatever she wants to do, in this case by providing 500 power. When another of your remnant characters is put from stage to waiting room, you can send this card into the waiting room to bring that character back, a great way to keep powerful cards alive on the board. With a trustworthy partner and loving family behind her back, Blake gets filled with determination and gets a new level 3 Climax combo. When Blake Determined is placed on stage from hand or deck, you can pay 1 stock to summon a Blake Determined from the deck. Since this new Blake is placed on stage from deck, she can also activate her effect and continue to chain summon as many Blake Determined are in your deck. When the Climax a trustworthy partner is placed on stage, each Blake Determined in the front row can choose a character to give +1 soul and the ability, when that character's damage is cancelled, deal 2 damage. With only 4 stock and a single copy of Blake Determined and the Climax, you can get 3 Blakes on the board with 3 Climax combos effect active. This is an efficient and flexible finishing combo that works well with a lot of existing cards in RWBY. Use Roy Stallion, I bet you've never seen this card before, to shuffle back copies of Blake Determined from the waiting room back into your deck to summon out. Stack 2 instances of the Blake's effect on Weiss Battle Stance from the trial deck to increase her damage output and maximize your chances of getting the on-cancel damage. If your opponent has an empty board, use Neapolitan to summon out level 1 and level 2 characters for your Blakes to side attack for precise amounts of damage. Be sure to pick up these cards from the first RWBY set and trial deck if you want to make the most of this new Blake Climax combo.
And that does it for our reviews for the upcoming English Original Expansion set, RWBY Premium Booster. Remember, this set is designed to be used in conjunction with the first set of RWBY Booster Box and Trial Deck, so make sure you're ready with those Set 1 cards for RWBY Premium Booster's release on June 28th. As usual, we're going to have product openings, deck ideas, and gameplay matches for everyone to check out when the time comes. A big thank you to Bushiroad for giving us a chance to reveal some cool new cards again. From Simu, Rando, and myself, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.